Welcome to Drum Corps Central, a podcast. I am a 13-year-old drum corps superfan who loves all forms of the marching arts. Thanks for watching the podcast today. There will be an almost daily episode of this podcast recapping the previous night's drum corps scores and looking ahead. Today is Thursday, July 12th, 2018, and we are in the peak of the 2018 Drum Corps International Summer Tour. Last night, 4 shows all around the country. Tonight, we get only one show, but it's a big show in the Knoxville, Tennessee area. I'll get to last night's scores and recaps along with the leaderboard for World and Open Class, which for World Class actually has some good information that I think we can say is pretty valid right now. I'll break down why. And the Open Class leaderboard, let's just take a look where everybody is. And then I'll take a look ahead to tonight's show in the Knoxville area. All that today on Drum Corps Central, a podcast. So first up last night, of the 4 shows, we had Ogden, Utah, Corps Encore. 2 open class corps here, the same 2 that have been going through the whole Pacific Northwest region, working their way down here to the Mountain West region. The battalion, they finish this little tour here on top of the Columbians, 58.7. The Columbians, they finish out their season. They finished out their season last night. They are done. 57.95 for the Columbians last night. Then down in World Class, look at this magnificent score for Santa Clara Vanguard. 86.25. That is huge. That is about 2 points ahead of everyone else. More like 1.5. But that is a huge score. Now, yes, you might say that's weighted, but it's a full panel. They didn't even go on last. The Blue Knights went on last. I find that Vanguard, right now, is between the Bluecoats and Vanguard. I think that the Bluecoats were the clear favorite so far this season, but as of like 2 days ago, I think Santa Clara Vanguard is the corps that all other 23 world-class corps are going to have to chase for a world-class championship this year. And I think that might be something we all thought last year when they came out so strong. They jumped from 4th to 2nd, and they were so close to getting the championship. This year, I think everyone thought they'd be strong once again, and they are very strong. You keep going down the leaderboard here. The Pacific Crest Oregon Crusaders gap opens up a little bit. It's now 1.75 Pacific Crest ahead of the Oregon Crusaders. Let's take a look at the scoring recap for Corps Encore. So, open class, here's how the battalion got it done. General Effect 1, that judge gives it to the battalion. General Effect 2 to the Columbians. Overall General Effect, the margin in G1 is bigger, so the battalion win General Effect. Visual then, battalion win overall, and then win 2 of the 3 sub-captions. The Columbians winning Color Guard. Then down in music, battalion clean sweep 18-4 to 17-9-5, where that win is really coming from. 58-7 for the battalion, Columbians 57-9-5. Then over in World Class, let's take a look. Here's General Effect and Visual. Of course, Vanguard clean sweeps it, but I want to take a look at some of those numbers. I was taking a look at the 2014 recap at finals this morning, when the Blue Devils had that magnificent show, Fellini-esque, and they got that 99, I think it was 6-5. They got perfect scores in every General Effect caption and every visual caption. I find that magnificent. I think it might be the best show ever. Watching it on replay a few times, I think it might be the best show ever. But I just want to bring that up real quick. In terms of that, we're looking at Vanguard, who's 8 points ahead of their nearest competitor at this show. So I just wanted to point out that how close are they to being perfect in some things. You can see the General Effects scores. I think that's out of 20. And then visual, I think that's out of 22. So they're not that far away. They are going to be in the 19s when we get to finals. I have no doubt in that. They might even get up to the 99s, which we have not seen for a few years, or 98. I don't think I guess we saw it last year with the Blue Devils. It kind of came out of nowhere. Dow, Pacific Crest, Oregon Crusaders. No surprises here. I do want to point out one thing. The Academy looks like they might have a strong chance to get in the finals. And I think part of that is coming from their visual score. One night they're great in color guard, the next night they're great in visual proficiency, the next night they're great in visual analysis. They are really strong in visual. Then down with Pacific Crest and Oregon Crusaders. You see Seattle Cascades even getting past Pacific Crest in one of those sub-captions in visual. That's where Pacific Crest, I guess, struggled. Then over here on the music side, it's 5, 6, 7. So I think really at this show, other than that one visual sub-caption, it sure looks like Pacific Crest is really kind of running away of Oregon Crusaders. I think we'll see much more of that as we get into, I guess you could call it regional season, or even mixing season, I guess you could call it, when we mix those West Coast, East Coast, Midwest scores all together and we get the scores we get. Speaking of mixing cores together, Johnston, Iowa, Celebration in brass. Open class River City Rhythm, as I keep saying, they have a really strong show this year. 57-2, great score for them. Colt Cadets, same deal, 52-8-5. Then down in World Class, this is where we mix somebody in, the Mandarins. We saw them join in Sioux City on Tuesday night. Then last night, they joined, the Crossmen joined with these other four. The Crossmen might have had an impact on where the Mandarins were at this show. It could have also been that the Mandarins had a terrible performance order, I guess, right before intermission. The Blue Stars went like second or last. Second to last or last. So that could be part of the reason that the Mandarins could not win this show. I don't want to make excuses, though, for it. The Blue Stars, they have a strong show. They are first here. I think it's something we'll see all season. I think Phantom, Blue Stars, Mandarins, Crossmen is another one of those groupings we're going to be watching as the season goes on. And the Blue Knights might even have to be thrown in there. Who knows who else? Maybe the Academy will get thrown in that group. Who knows at this point. Then down, you see Crossmen, Colts, Genesis, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Let's take a look at the scoring recap for Celebration in brass. So first in open class, we've been talking about River City Rhythm, clean sweeps over the Colt Cadets. Not what the color guard judge was yesterday. Gives Colt Cadets first in everything in color guard. 11 even to a 10.8 for River City Rhythm. I think these two are ones we'll be talking about all season. I think we'll be talking about River City Rhythm in terms of how much they're going to be gaining this year, which is a lot. Their best finished 9th in their first season as a DCI core, I believe it was. And they fell down last year. I think it was 12th, 11th, or 12th last year. And I think they're looking to go back to where that 9th place year was. And they got a well-designed show, talented musicians, you can tell. I think River City Rhythm's got something special. Meanwhile, the Colt Cadets, same deal for them. I watched both of these guys in Minneapolis on Flow Marching. And the Colt Cadets are better than they have been. And I think that this, as I keep saying, great year for both world-class and open-class drum corps. Back to the action here, though, over in World Class. We knew it was going to be crazy between Blue Stars, Mandarins, and Crossmen. And, oh, it was, and you can even throw the in percussion. General effect. Overall general effect. I think I'm just going to go overall captions because it's so crazy. General effect, Blue Stars and Mandarins tie for first at a 31-5. Crossmen 3rd, Colts 4th. Over in visual, Mandarins really strong in visual. Visual proficiency first, visual analysis first, color guard 4/10 over the Blue Stars, 3/10 over Crossmen. So overall visual, yes, it does go to the Mandarins, a 24-2 to a 23-8 for the Blue Stars, 23-6-5 for the Crossmen, and a 22-7 for the Colts. Then you go down to music, brass, Crossmen first, Blue Stars second, Mandarins third, the three of them within 0.3 of each other. Colts, we've been talking about how, weak, you could say, on their recap. They've kind of been in brass. If we were to compare them to Madison at this show, I think they'd have a fine night in brass. So I think they're getting where they need to be there. Music analysis goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And music percussion net. Okay, so the Blue Stars, great. They have been for the past few years, 15-6. Then you get a 15-2 for the Colts. Very strong in percussion. Then third is the Mandarins, which is a whole 0.8 behind the Blue Stars. The Mandarins are ahead, I guess, would be the consensus coming into music. And then they kind of lose it here in percussion, 0.8 behind the Blue Stars. 0.8, and then even worse for the Crossmen, 1.3 behind the Blue Stars. That's not good. The Blue Stars, I think, might just be really strong in percussion, but you gotta be strong in everything if you're gonna be a champion, let alone a finalist. Overall music then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your look at the scoring recap for Celebration in brass. Then, Hodgson, Georgia, Drums Across America. 3 open class scores here. Same 3 that were in Valdosta the night before. Heat Wave was also there, not there at this show. Louisiana Stars won in Valdosta. They are now third. Guardians were second. They're now first. Southwind was third. They are now second. I'll break that on the recap. World class, that Bluecoat score, if I'm them, I'm wanting to get a little higher than that because Vanguard is currently running away. I don't care if you say that score is weighted or whatever, but Vanguard is running away. They are in the 86s. Bluecoats are at an 84. The Blue Devils even scored higher than them last night, which this year the Bluecoats have really been ahead the whole season. Boston, then, they're so close. They are just going to be right there. I don't think they're a top 3. I think they have the ability to be this year. I just don't think the judges are going to see it the same way some fans do, like me. Then they're second, 82-6-5. You might say that's really close to the Bluecoats, but once you get in that 84, being at an 82, that's not up at where these guys are. I think their competition is more Crown, Cavaliers, those cores. Spirit third, Music City fourth, Jersey Surf fifth. Good score for everybody down there. I think everybody did improve at this show. Take a look at the scoring recap for Drums Across America last night. So, open class, one of the things I really want to break down today. General effect, you see the Guardians first in general effect 1, but then the Southwind getting ahead in general effect 2. Overall general effect, that goes to the Guardians, a 23-3 to a 22-9 for Southwind. Louisiana Stars third, 0.8 behind Guardians. So they're already behind. They can't really catch up 0.8 unless you're really strong somewhere else. Visual proficiency. Look at that score for Southwind. Awesome. 11-7 to 10-9, which is what the Guardians got. 10-8 for Louisiana Stars. So they're close to the Guardians there. Visual then, or visual analysis. Guardians first, Louisiana Stars second, Southwind third. Color guard. Louisiana Stars first, Guardians second, Southwind third. So overall visual first, Guardians a 16-9. Louisiana Stars second with a 16-8-5, so very close, and Southwind a 16-8 in third, all within 1/10 of each other. Music, brass, Southwind first, Guardians second, Louisiana Stars third. Music analysis, Louisiana Stars first, Guardians second, Southwind third. Music percussion, it goes in reverse order, Louisiana Stars, Southwind, Guardians. This is crazy. And we're going to be talking about it all season. Between the Guardians, Southwind, and Louisiana Stars. Don't ask me how the Guardians won the show, because they did not win it in music. and they probably won it. I don't really. I think it's more of that the Southwind and Louisiana Stars scores were a little lower in some things. The Guardians kind of just stayed consistent all across the board. I think that's how they won this show. Then over in World Class, I spent way too much time over in Open Class, so not going to break down a ton here. Just between Bluecoats and Boston. Boston wins visual proficiency, color guard, overall visual by a half a tenth. And they do get first in the content area in percussion over the Bluecoats. Bluecoats strongly in percussion. I'm telling you, there are 3 things right now that, and really 4 if you count that Western Core Open Class battle. There are a few things right now that are just so crazy. That Open Class battle I just talked about with Southwind Guardians, Louisiana Stars, the Crossmen, Mandarins, Blue Stars, and whoever else is going to get included in that group. And then here, the percussion scores in World Class. It could go 1, 2, 3 down to 24. It could go 24-1. We really have no idea, and we can't tell right now because it's just so crazy across the board on the percussion scores right now in World Class. One night the Bluecoats are 4th, next night they're 1st. I have no idea. Lastly, last night, the show that really kind of had no big competition. Blue Devils win 84-8, Cavaliers 83-55. You see the other 3 cores here as well. Legends, Phantom, Madison, them. Legends, I think they might just be starting off a little, I don't want to use weak, but weak, and then I think that they'll be where they have been as the season goes on. Maybe not necessarily up at like that 3rd place or 4th place that we've been seeing them at, but maybe at like a 5th or 6th place, which really with that Open Class competition, it's something we're talking about World Class too, that everybody's getting better, so you have to get better the same amount as those other cores get better in order to keep up, and I think a lot of cores are doing awesome at that right now. And then there's some that aren't, and you can pick them out but on your own time. I'm not going to sit here and say that there are cores that aren't as good as they have been, but I think everybody is really in this fierce competition right now to keep up with where everybody else is competitively. I do have, let's take a look at scoring recap for DCI Crossroads, but really not much to see here. 1 core in Open Class with the Legends, and then over in World Class, I guess you could say 2 things here. Cavaliers first in color guard percussion. That's all that you really have to see here. Not much else. Cavaliers, I think if you had to group them right now, I'll get to this on the leaderboard. Cavaliers are in that group with Crown and Boston. Speaking of the World Class leaderboard, let's take a look at it. As I said in my intro to the show today, this is about the most accurate we're going to have right now, because we had, I think it was all but 2, 3, 4 cores compete last night. And now here it is after that night of competition. They were all full panels, all that stuff. So kind of as accurate it's going to be. So if I just want to group these real quick. Vanguard, Blue Devils, Bluecoats are the championship contenders right now. They are the ones that look like they will be the ones that will be fighting it out till Indianapolis in August. Then you get down to this next group, Cavaliers, Boston, Crown. They are the ones that might be getting up there to a 3rd place, depending on show changes and improvement and all that. And they're trying to fight for that 4th spot. Then you get this next group. I think the Cadets are kind of on an island by themselves, at least right now. That's what it looks like. They're kind of locked in that 7th spot. They aren't going up right now. They're not going down, though. So I think they're the most consistent, I guess, night in and night out. They just go up a few tenths or points each night. Then you go down to this next group, the crazy finalist, bubble spot, whatever you want to call it group. You got the Blue Knights, Phantom, Blue Stars, Mandarins, Crossmen, and who knows what we'll be talking about after San Antonio with like the Academy, Colts, Madison, Spirit, maybe even the Troopers could get up there. I think that those top 12 right now are the favorites to be the top 12 right now. We knew the Mandarins would be strong. We knew somebody would fall out. It just so happens that that is Madison this season. And we knew a lot of cores would be better on the finalist border, I guess. And we are seeing the Academy make gains. We're seeing the Colts make gains. And we're seeing Madison trying to make gains right now. Spirits right there, they've really improved. As if you read the DCI article, they've really improved. A lot of positive stuff happening there. So there is a big fight for a finalist spot. I don't know who that group is that's going to be left out. Is it going to be the Blue Stars? Could even be the Mandarins after everybody loving them, I guess, and feeling so good because they're in finals, and I think that they are there to stay. But I think that you've got cores like the Blue Stars and Crossmen that have been returning finalists and that might be in just a little bit of jeopardy this year because of these cores getting so good. And they have great shows, don't get me wrong, but I think that especially the Crossmen right there in 12th, I think that they definitely want to be in finals. I think that show I'm going to say personal opinion right now. I think the Crossmen are better than the Blue Stars after watching them a couple of times on Flow Marching. Not in person, but on Flow Marching. I think the Crossmen are better than the Blue Stars. But that does not mean that the judges see it the same way that I as a fan do. And I think that the Crossmen might be the one that have the Academy or Colts or Spirit or whoever chasing them and for that finalist spot. Who knows? Maybe it'll be totally not fun at all, and it'll just be the same top 12 as last year. Who knows? We don't know until San Antonio, though. Let's take a look at the DCI Open Class leaderboards. So, leaderboard on the left, including all cores, leaderboard on the right, excluding cores that will not be at championships. You see the Colombians, only a core that has done all their shows. They are done according to the DCI website. Not saying that that is accurate, but it is DCI's website, so I trust it. You see when everybody has their next show, you see Vanguard Cadets, Blue Devils B. Definitely these early season favorites because they are up at the top and they have not left those top two positions all season except for like once or twice when they had not had a show in like 2 weeks. That's the only time. So you could go down here. You can see those groups that performed last night. Legends, Guardians, Southwind, Louisiana Stars, all of them. And when they have their next show. So you can also check this out on my own personal website about all things Drum Corps, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com. Let's take a look at tonight's show for Thursday, July 12th, 2018. So, one show, Farragut, Tennessee, Farragut High School. I believe they're a frequent Guns of America regional finalist, and they're the show host tonight. Drums Across the Smokies is the show title. 6:30, welcome the national anthem. And we get those 3 open class scores tonight. The draw in quotes might benefit the South or Louisiana Stars, maybe not the Guardians. Then you go down here, these world class scores. We'll see Boston and Bluecoats fight it out. Music City, their score might be a little weighted over Jersey Surf tonight because it's their home show. They get to go last, as everybody does at their home show. So, looks like it'll be great show tonight in Farragut, Tennessee, if you can make it out there. Drums Across the Smokies, Bill Clabo Field at Farragut High School, Farragut, Tennessee. Weather forecast, hot, but great night for Drum Corps. Partly cloudy, partly sunny, mostly clear as the night goes on. Now, just a few things before I end here today. Make sure to check out drumcorpscentral.weebly.com for all your latest updates from the Drum Corps International and Drum Corps Associates Summer Tour. Scores, schedule, leaderboards, and more can all be found on my own personal website about all things Drum Corps, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DrumCorpsGeek if you don't already, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Drum Corps Central, where this podcast and more as the season goes on will be posted. Thank you for watching here today. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Drum Corps Central, a podcast. Good luck to all performing groups tonight in Tennessee.